So I was looking to buy a cheap laptop that I can throw into my backpack and not worry too much if it got damaged, as well as to possibly play around with Linux. I was very disappointed by the sub $200 laptops that are currently available. I happened to pick up this one for about 99 bucks, and the problem is that they come with low-powered processors. This one has a Z8350 Intel Atom Cherry Trail processor with a base speed of only 1.4 gigahertz. Plus, it has only 2 gigabytes of RAM and 32 gigabytes of eMMC memory, and none of it was upgradable. And I was very disappointed in the performance and speed of the laptop. Plus, you can't run Linux very well on Intel Cherry Trail processors. Lots of things are broken, like Wi-Fi and sound. So I looked into refurbished laptops, and I ended up buying a Thinkpad X230, and I am absolutely in love with this laptop. It came out in 2012. It has a third generation i5 processor with a base speed of 2.6 gigahertz. The RAM is easily upgradable. This came with 4 gigabytes. I upgraded it to 8 gigabytes. The hard drive is also upgradable. I swapped out the hard drive for a SSD, and I am loving it. It's got lots of ports. On this side, you have a USB 2 with the option of having it always on. I don't know if you can see that very well. The lighting is bad, I'm sorry. You also got an Ethernet port and a headphone jack right there. This side, you can see, I don't know if you can, a USB 3 port, another USB 3 port. I believe this is a display port here, VGA port here. It also has a PCI card slot. This particular one has a 9-cell battery. That's why you have this jutting out from the back. I installed Windows 10 on it, and it is wonderful. So let's turn it on so you can see its performance. The fingerprint reader works perfectly. So you can use the fingerprint reader to actually turn on the laptop. Okay, so let's try that fingerprint reader. And as you can see, the laptop is booting up. This one has a gorgeous IPS screen. The resolution is quite low, so probably not the best for video editing. So the lines you see are because of the phone recording. You don't see the lines on the actual screen. It's very gorgeous. I did upgrade the keyboard to a backlit one, so if you push function and the space bar, you can see a low-level backlight. I know that's hard to see because it's there's light. Let's do a next level up. You can see it's gotten even brighter, and then the third button turns on the think light. Oop. There it goes. And then a final press actually turns it off. Once you're logged in, you can also sign in using the fingerprint reader, so let's do that. And so you see it's signed in, and wow, it booted up super quick to Chrome, which I had open when I shut down. So let's just shut that. This is because I was loading something else. Okay, so works wonderful with Windows 10, no issues. Downloaded the drivers automatically. Let's open Chrome again. super fast. So pleased. Let's play a YouTube video. Okay, so you can hear the sound.
Review of the signal quality of the Lenovo.
You can, there is a dedicated volume button. You can increase that.
Excellent bargain Black Friday, and wanted to get some information out there as to how it functions.
So that's
as a
100%
phone.
sound.
There are already a lot of reviews out there covering the hardware specifications.
You can increase the brightness as well.
But to me, the most important aspect of a phone is its ability to make and receive calls and text.
There's a dedicated button for that as well on the keyboard.
First of all, this is a unlocked GSM phone, which means that it should work with.
Let's go ahead and pause that.
And AT&T. What I
It's got a pretty responsive trackpad. It's got this pointer on the keyboard that you can use to also move the mouse around. So if you're typing, you don't have to take your fingers off the keyboard and just use this track point. And then you have right and left keys to function like a mouse. So it's really a wonderful laptop. I'm very pleased by the purchase. I do think that it's still relevant in 2018, despite it coming out in 2012, because the processor is really strong. At a base speed of 2.6 gigahertz. The drawback is it is a high power processor, so you won't get that much battery life. With the 9-cell battery I have, when it's fully charged, it'll probably last about 6 or 7 hours if you're not streaming, if you're just connected to the web and doing some searching. Of course, when you start streaming, it takes a hit on the battery life and may last about 3 to 4 hours with the 9-cell battery. But really wonderful. Not so good for gaming because of the GPU that's used. It's an HD 4000, I believe. But if you look at YouTube, there are people who manage to connect an eGPU via the PCI card slot and are able to play games without any problems. So I liked it so much, I ended up getting another one and decided to install Linux on it as a dedicated Linux laptop. So let's take a look at that one. So here's my other X230 running Linux, specifically Ubuntu Mate. I did install the Fingerprint GUI, so I'm going to log in with my Fingerprint. This does have a TN screen instead of the IPS screen, so it's less sharp and can be more washed out. So the fingerprint reader will allow you to log in using your fingerprint. So it's running Ubuntu Mate. I prefer Chromium to Firefox as my browser. This is running off of a hard drive instead of an SSD, so I'm sure it would be blazing fast with an SSD, but it's still plenty fast. I did have to do a few tweaks to make it work according to my needs. So after you've opened up your browser for the first time, I think a lot of it is stored in cache memory. So if you were to launch it again, okay, we're going to play one of my videos. Let's go ahead and increase the volume.
So here we have the Hyundai Protocol X8 8-inch Windows tablet that is often on sale at Fry's for about $57 with their promo code.
So anyway, wonderful portable 12-inch laptop, just a little bit bigger than the size of a standard piece of paper, if I can find a standard piece of paper among my mess so that you have an idea of the size. Here you go. This is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So if you notice, it's approximately, let's get this off the pad. Okay. So if you look at this 8.5 by 11 inch piece of paper, it extends by about an inch. I'd say it's about 12 inches in length, and the paper actually sticks over the edge by about half an inch. So actually it's 12 inches wide by 8 inches in length. So it's really really a good size that you can just throw into your backpack, and it doesn't take up too much space. So the X230 is a bit on the thick side, about an inch thick or more, and it is a bit heavy, weighing about I would say approximately 3 pounds, but it's very solid construction. You know, this is a business grade laptop, so it's meant to be able to withstand being taken on business trips and still function well. So in 2018, is the Thinkpad X230 still a decent laptop to buy? Well, it all depends upon your application. So if you are like myself and you just want a decent to cheap portable laptop to run Windows or Linux or do a bit of programming, then it is an extremely capable laptop with a very fast processor. You can have multiple tabs open with no slowdown in the process, or you can use it to stream from online sites. If you're looking for a gaming laptop, out of the box, it's not going to work for you. You will need to use an external GPU, and again on YouTube you can see people who've managed to do that using the express card slot on the side. If you are a video editor, it may not be the best either because of its resolution and limited RGB spectrum. Drawing apps are fine. General usage is fine, but I recommend it for 2018. I think it's still relevant. It's better than some of the cheaper laptops that are available nowadays with the low spec processors and the soldered memory. So there you go. I hope this was helpful.